doing it unprofessional mode. You're a true gamer. What up?
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, you know, are you live?
Yeah, I'm live.
Cool.
I don't think anyone can hear you though, because for some reason Discord's being weird. Weird. You should be coming through this, but you're not. Keep talking?
Hello, what's up?
Oh, okay, no, they
How you
can't.
doing?
You're just on a different channel. Okay, that should be good.
I got something cool to tell you.
Tell me, what's going on?
Their new type of corporation just passed this month in Colorado.
RoboCorp?
It's a Corp.
Okay.
No, A Corp. It's an artist corporation.
What does that mean?
It's a specialized type of limited liability company created specifically for creators and artists here in Colorado, and you can make one outside the state too.
Oh, really?
So you can like register as one for here.
Oh, that's sick. What are the
So-
benefits?
So it's I'll just read you the bullet points.
Sure.
It's really interesting. I gotta read more about it, but we can officially start registering for it next year.
I wonder who lobbied
As
for
a-
that.
Some dude in Colorado that's doing that. It like just won.
That's cool.
Like I think today.
Yeah,
or
let's
yesterday or
let's hear what the let's hear what the benefits are.
So it's artist first control. So artists are legally required to own at least 51% of all voting shares in whatever they're doing. So ensuring the creator always maintains a controlling stake and final say over their work. So no matter what happens with it, whether it's like film or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual property protection. So intellectual property and the artist's labor are counted as capital contributions and factored directly into the company's valuation. And IP rights revert back to the artist if the company dissolves.
Cool.
Separation of rights. So A corps allow creatives to separate economic rights, like who gets paid,
Mhm.
from governance rights, who makes creative decisions, making it easier to take on investors without sacrificing creative control.
That's cool.
And then the entity is designed to legally protect an artist's core mission in whatever work they're doing, rather than just prioritizing the shareholder value.
So how does this intersect with like if I'm a company, let's say I'm Blizzard Entertainment and I want to hire a company that's set up as an A corp. What does this like mean, or is it just for the artists making their own companies?
It says that like in terms of you being an A corp that you can issue ownership units. So including like it says like fractional units. So you're letting artists build equity and share ownership with collaborators.
Okay.
So equity can be based on like capital contributions, like artistic work.
Okay.
And it's saying that like there's like equal shares per member or fixed percentages, and artists can raise capital by issuing shares while maintaining majority control. So it's like you're like getting investors into what you're doing.
Interesting.
You can do that sort of thing. And I think it's like the same. It's almost like I don't know, like a more like long-term licensing agreement. It seems like once they come into like a collaborator thing with you,
Right.
another person who's like investing into you. It seems like similar to that in like the structure, but it's less of like a only for this amount of time. Like if you're an A corp, you can have like backing, and you control like I don't know what percentage of what you're doing goes back to that person who's backing you or something like that.
Are
in terms of,
there
like, ownership?
Are there any tax incentives or special write-offs?
I'm looking into it right now. I like just started reading about it this morning. 'Cause
Yeah, it
just
sounds
passed.
cool. Sounds cool. I definitely want to know more about it.
Okay, so I'll compare it. So, if you compared it to something else,
Mm-hmm.
so like in LLC, so it's saying like artist control is protected. In LLC, you can do that, but it's only by agreement. So it depends on the thing that's written up. So whatever contract you signed,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, like that's going to be the thing that dictates whether you're protected or not.
Right.
The S corp is dependent on the shares that somebody owns in the company. So
Okay.
corporation. So if somebody owns the majority shares, and they're the ones that have the control. And in the A corp, you will always maintain majority control no matter what, over what you do.
Okay.
So nobody would ever be able to like take over in that way.
That's cool.
And the thing of like IP reversion on dissolution
Mm-hmm.
with an LLC, that's only by agreement that you get the IP back. Same thing with an S corp. But in the A corp, you always get it back no matter what. So nobody can do any like shady write-ups or anything in a contract.
So, all right. So let's say theoretically, me and you set up an A corp in Colorado, and then a big video game company contracted us to come up with a bunch of pitches for new stuff, and then the whole thing folded. Does that mean that because they contracted with an A corp, we automatically get the rights to the stuff we made back?
I'm not exactly sure how it works in terms of people hiring an A corp to
Mhm.
work for them on a project.
Right.
From what I understand, the A corp is designed mostly for like people who, like for us making Steve Glitchman,
Mhm.
we'd be like an A corp because that's our thing. So like we make that, we make Skull and Shark, we make all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's designed for that. So like if we were to make a thing like a movie or a show or something with
Mhm.
somebody,
Mhm.
that's where like the A corp protects us. I imagine it also works for working for people as a contractor. I just don't know because I think for the most part, what's been kind of forward leading on this is the stuff surrounding being the individual
Right.
and being like the visionary person and how to protect them.
Right.
So like if you're a musician, then you have your masters. Your masters are like yours.
Oh,
no matter
okay.
what.
It's the Taylor Swift thing. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Got it.
So like that's what's like built into this is a lot of like individual protections.
Okay. So it sounds like it would be like the classic case of if you did a bunch of art for a company and then the company folded, you probably wouldn't need to ask permission to like make a book or something with the work you did.
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to talk to somebody about it
Sure.
and see what exactly it looks like.
Sounds like you own rights to use the work in the sense that you're the artist, but you might not own the underlying IP if it was contracted to you. But yeah, it'd be interesting to
Like it
learn more
says-
about it.
Like their thing on their website, their like basic thing is they said every existing legal form forces artists to make trade-offs that don't serve them. So sole proprietorships leave you exposed. Partnerships are more fragile. LLCs require expensive customization.
Yeah.
Corporations center shareholders over creators. And the A Corp gets rid of those trade-offs. And they're saying it's what you'd get if you'd hire a $15,000 lawyer to set up a custom LLC with every creative protection imaginable, except it's built into the legal form itself, available to anyone.
Okay.
And you just pay a few $100s to get set up with it instead of like customizing an LLC.
That's pretty sick.
So it seems like it's actually pretty great.
So it's got to be recognized on some kind of federal level.
Yeah, you get to do this in any part of the country now, as long as you establish your A Corp in Colorado.
That's dope.
So I'm just gonna keep putting it out there to all the artists. I'm excited to talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like people have been waiting for this sort of thing.
That's cool.
I mean, because like the thing is like an LLC, it has stuff in it that does protect you, but
Yeah.
it's not built for you to make like a comic book necessarily.
No, it's not about creations. It's just a weird one-size-fits-all shield to separate you as an individual from the company.
The idea of like being able to protect like masters and stuff if you're a musician is awesome.
Yeah, that's dope. That's really dope.
Yeah, what a cool thing for people.
Yeah.
Pretty excited to see how this all goes. Between like this and all the stuff I've been seeing of like all the quiet pullbacks and AI things between all the companies.
Yeah. Good to
Yes.
good to have a win finally.
They're all backing out. Like all these major companies are just like, I mean, they can't say it outright, but
Right.
because they put so much money in it.
Right.
But so many of them are like, it's not a good idea.
Whoops. Yeah.
We spent so much money on this.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not actually equating to like a major profit.
Hopefully the bubble bursting doesn't tank too much of the economy, but ultimately it's a good thing regardless.
Yeah, I know. That's like the major thing. It's like, okay, yeah, it turned out to be a stupid idea.
Yeah.
But
Who
now
who could have seen that coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
We invested all this money.
People got excited. It's just crazy. It's like you got sold on snake oil, this magic pill that would solve all your problems and make things push of a button easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out that, oh, you're telling me that it's too good to be true.
Not only is it too good to be true, now that people are realizing it's too good to be true, the whole economy is going to tank. Ah, shit. We put all of our finances into snake oil. Fuck. Ah, god damn it. God damn it. Yeah. Well, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, A Corp. How cool is that?
It's pretty rad. It's also
Very nice.
pretty good for acceptable corp to be an A Corp.
Yeah, I know, right?
I like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I'll have to call my, or our lawyer. I'll have to call our lawyer later and see if we can file the paperwork to transfer the LLC
Well,
and potentially.
Can't do it yet, but yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to ask them
we
about
can
it.
also see like the pros and cons. Like, does it make sense?
Mm.
Actually, I think it makes sense for like me and you to do it, probably, like individually.
I could probably get our lawyer to come on stream and talk about exactly what it is and what it can do. Now that I think about it, I bet he would do that.
If Dan and I both kill ourselves at the same time, what happens?
Yeah. Now what happens
Like,
if?
do we go to heaven or like what?
No, what happens if I just kill Dave or Dave just kills me?
We should
What-
just ask him questions
yeah.
that are just morality questions that nothing to do with legal stuff.
Will I go to heaven? When I was a kid, I accidentally killed a frog. Am I going to hell?
Did my dad go to heaven?
Will my dad?
No,
Will
I'm
my?
just asking. He's already dead. Where is he?
Now, in your legal opinion, will my dad go to hell? Here's all the things he's done.
Like, let's just say you're an angel lawyer.
Brass tacks, you're St. Peter. Is my dad getting in?
What happened? Where is my dad? Do you talk to the dead?
Is this a seance? A seance? The best South Park episode? Suing a ghost. It's a seance. Quick, kids, I feel it. Put some money in the box. Oh. Oh, well, that's good. It's good to hear. It's a very good
Yeah.
thing.
I'm in the pit, trying to work through all these characters. You know what I'm doing.
I do know. I know. Guys, imagine if Dave got contracted to do every One Piece character. It's essentially something that big on a very tight timeline.
Well, it's like if all your friends that I don't know, all your friends that watched Sons of Anarchy, every single
Yeah.
if every single one of them commissioned me to draw a different Grim Reaper tattoo
Yes.
and I had to do like 25 of them.
It's a very
That's
good way to put
basically
it.
what I'm doing right now.
Same but different. Same but different.
Yeah, if every single one of those dudes contracted me to do a Grim Reaper tattoo, that's essentially what I'm doing.
I'm going to get into some lore that you may or may not know. But hopefully people listening know. So, Tim Heidecker's show on cinema, at the cinema, the like meta reality thing where he's a movie reviewer, and then they make a whole bunch of fake things that they pretend really happened, like him accidentally killing a bunch of kids at a music festival with like laced drugs and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So in that universe, in the On Cinema universe, On Cinema and Tim's band and all Tim's IP was was acquired by the Delgados, which was the family of one of the kids he accidentally killed at the Electric Sun Music Festival.
Okay.
So then Tim rebranded On Cinema to be a business podcast. So Greg is like passive aggressively still talking about movies, and Tim's talking about business and finance. But
Yeah.
he's modeling it after a real show called the PBD podcast. All right, and he's making fun of that specifically. Are you familiar with that podcast?
PBD
Patrick Bet David. It's a very cringe finance podcast where they all wear suits and they talk about investments and politics and money and like inspirational grind set bullshit.
Is that the guy that put on the bunch of like scam dudes?
Yes.
Like, he put on what's his face? The
Co-
guy who like scammed people.
CoffeeZilla's going after him right now for a massive scam where he was part of a Ponzi
Right.
scheme. Yeah. So, okay.
Yes.
So now we're going to tie this all together. On Cinema at the Cinema, the Delgados take away all Tim's stuff. So Tim rebrands On Cinema to be the PBD podcast. The PBD podcast is now involved in a Ponzi scheme class action lawsuit. And the person who fucked over PBD is called Delgado. So all the clips of Tim screaming about the Delgados, the fucking Delgados took everything. Fucking Delgados. It's like this weird universal coincidence that's fucking incredible. It's just so good. It's so fucking weird and awesome. Like that, between that and all the InfoWars stuff, it's just like his like meta reality is becoming actual reality in a weird way. It's great.
That's really funny.
It's just a great coincidence.
The fact that anybody listens to those dudes is so shocking to me.
Oh, it's crazy. The dude who looks
That guy
like
is-
he looks like Prison Mike, except with a suit on. That
Like, if somebody like that can manipulate you and get you to believe that they're real, then
you deserve
have-
to lose your money.
You have major blind spots. Like, you need to be way better at threat detection.
Yeah,
You gotta know when somebody's a scam artist.
yeah.
How do you not know?
Anytime someone tells a story and the format is, it's 1982 and I come to America and I have no money and I put all my money in this and in 2 years I'm a millionaire. It's like immediately bullshit. Like immediately you should be like, okay, yeah, no. I'm gonna give you 5% return monthly. Is just, what are you doing? Stop. But I don't know. It's like people that can believe in like religious thinking just follow anybody.
Do you like an Armenian guy?
I don't know what country he's from. He has a very thick accent. It's, yeah, something. But I don't know. All I know is the soundboard that this YouTuber I love named RM Brown uses, where he has all of it like dollar. All the things he says weird. Dollar. You think Margot Robbie takes a dump? Like all these insane quotes from him. But yeah, it's great. It's great seeing it all fall apart.
I was talking to this girl that was Armenian at a party the other day. I went to one of the dad's birthday parties,
Sure.
and she's Armenian. We were talking about Armenian people, and she was just like talking about like going like back to the country, seeing people and like how they live.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like asking her, I was like, what is it about Armenian dudes? I was like, why is their identity Las Vegas?
It's the, I mean, I'm using this term wrong. I know it's not, Armenia's not like, I don't think it's third world, but it's like the third world idea of what rich is like the tacky Las Vegas, gaudy. It's like, that's like a very Eastern European almost, like very like post-Soviet poverty version of like making it, is all the like flashy, gaudy, gross shit.
Yeah, like putting on like bedazzled stuff.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like very Chris Angel adjacent.
Yeah.
I really understand it. It's just like, here's a Las Vegas magician. Like a
Yeah.
street magician. Why is that your idea of? My theory was that I was saying that because there was an Armenian genocide,
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that Jews were like, that'll never happen to us again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they like took control, and they were like, we're gonna become like super successful. Everything's gonna be good.
Yeah.
This won't happen to us again.
And the
My theory of
Armenians.
So it's that
Yeah.
they're just like, we'll never look bad again.
Yeah.
And they adopted a Las Vegas person.
We're all gonna get shark skin suits and all be Las
We
Vegas
might,
men.
We
Yeah.
might get hurt, but we'll never look bad.
We're never gonna look bad getting hurt.
Nobody's ever gonna make us look bad.
We'll never be invisible again. You have to look at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Does the genocide even happen?
It's a good theory.
Yeah.
It's a very good theory.
There's something about it though. That's like the craziest blind spot.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's
I
that.
don't know how crazy that is.
It's like when those like Eastern European Russian dudes delivered that big piece of furniture here and broke it. They were all wearing like, I don't know, like really cringy outfits with like big fat gold chains and stuff. I'm like, this is so weird. It's like a very specific region of the world's idea of looking good or successful.
I actually like that. I don't know what I like about it, but I like that it's so, like, what would you call it? It's just, I don't know. There's a bunch of things you could say. It's like John Wick bad guys. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the aesthetic, and I don't know why it's always Eastern Europeans. But they
It's like-
it is a thing. It's a real thing.
It's like specifically like PlayStation 3 bad guys. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know how the stereotype. I don't know how the stereotype is so real though. It's like so accurate.
I will say this about that Russian look though. I do like Russian rap music,
Sure.
and I feel that look in the way it sounds.
Yeah.
There's something about that look that's like
Translates.
music,
Sure.
and I very much enjoy it. I like, I like whatever that sound is.
I've been
Sounds
I've been getting lost the more I listen to Matt and Shane, and I've been looking into their special interests in my free time to also learn more. So I'm on like a Civil War kick now. And dude, that guy, you're probably gonna know who I'm talking about. I hope you do. The historian that everybody interviews, it's so fucking funny, dude. He starts telling stories about the Civil War.
Ken?
No, I don't think it's Ken. No, maybe it is, but I don't think it's Ken Burns. If that's who you're talking about,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I don't think that's who you're talking about, or else you'd say it.
he's in the Ken Burns documentaries. He's a guy, and he tells stories like he was there, and it's like.
I know.
And dude, the stories always start out like it's gonna be a story, and then it goes nowhere. Like the one I heard last night was all these soldiers were walking under the peach orchard, and they were hiding from the Union, and a rabbit done run out and ran across the peach orchard, and the soldier looked at him and he said, "You run, rabbit. If I was a rabbit, I'd be running too." And a lot of them felt that way, and that's the whole story. That's it. That's the anecdote. That guy fucking kills me. It's like every single thing he says is nothing. It's like
So fun.
one day a soldier was walking through the woods in the dark, and he knew the Union was around, and an owl went, who? And he said, "General, it's your good friend, Robert Joy." And he done thought that bird was his commander. He was so scared. And that's the end of the story. It's like, why are you here? Why are you in this documentary? Like, that means
You know who he
that
reminds me of?
that added nothing to this. Like, woohoo.
He specifically reminds me of that dude from like the History Channel Aliens show.
Yeah.
Where you're
Yeah.
like, what?
Why are you here?
What are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Like, are you here to become like a personality? Is that like what you are? You're not like here to talk about this.
There was
It's
one.
like
There
you're
was.
doing your own thing.
There was one in the episode I watched last night where his whole cutaway was like, it was like a bunch of people dying of malnutrition and all these horrible photos of dead bodies. And then it cut to that guy, and he was like, a lot of soldiers, you know, they'd get some cornmeal, and they'd get the grease from their bacon, and they'd mix it up and make a cornmeal bacon dumpling. And, you know, that was pretty good eats if he was a soldier. That's it. Nothing to do with
Slowly fade from him to a black and white photo.
Exactly. They fade from him to a black. They literally faded from that to a black and white photo of a black Union soldier and started playing like Southern hymnals over it. Like they don't acknowledge it. No, it's destroying me. Every time I hear his voice, I stop what I'm doing and I look at the screen because I'm like, this is gonna be good. Whatever this is gonna be amazing because it's this guy whose stories go nowhere. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, he's just like a homeless guy.
Oh man, I feel like he just lives at Gettysburg in a tent. He's just there all the time, waiting for people to come by so he can tell stories.
I think he's just a lost soldier. He's just a soldier.
Yeah, he's just a guy
Walks
who
across.
he's a ghost at Gettysburg. He's a guy who died there. Yeah.
And he comes out doing documentaries. Well, says I says.
Dude, there's another one where he's like, the soldiers,
Foghorn Leghorn.
yeah, like lazy foghorn leghorn. The soldiers was hiding under the apple orchard so long waiting for the Union, they got bored and started throwing green apples at each other. And one of them looked to the other and said, "What wouldn't it be nice if during this war apples was the only thing thrown at us?" And you know, a lot of those boys felt that way. it's
Love those boys.
it's it's always a lot of those boys felt that way. At the a lot of them were thinking that. It's like, what are we doing, dude? Makes no sense.
Talking
This has nothing to do with anything.
about what he is. I wonder if he's just like a guy. Like, to give him the benefit of the doubt, I wonder if he's just like a guy that's specifically focused on reading the journals. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
like what is this history? You know, like what's this part?
There was a
The
boy.
only credit I can give him is that like maybe he's just specifically that.
A soldier, Thomas Crowley, wrote a letter to his mother, and in it he said, "Dear mother, how I miss you. I'm here today, 36 weeks into this war, and I can surely say that I do miss your home cooking. This hardtack is not very good." And a lot of them boys felt that way. It's like what? It kills me. A lot of them boys felt that way. We should.
Do that where like me and you, with like interspersed with like older guys doing it.
Yeah.
Just as the clips go by back and forth, we're just in more and more like like we're wounded from the war.
Yeah. We're slowly falling apart.
Like we're dressed up like we got
Yeah.
like we were involved somehow.
To the point at the end of it where I'm saying that as a doctor saws my arm off in real time. Yeah, and a lot of them boys felt that way. Oh, God.
Sitting next to like a black soldier.
Yeah.
Who's, like doing like a while we're telling it.
Yeah. It's just. Oh, man. All the Ken Burns documentaries have something kind of funny like that, but the Civil War one I'm watching is like. It's like hilarious. It's for some reason, it's just so funny. The cuts and the stuff that they choose to let that guy say.
I don't know why it bothers me, but like I was looking at just I don't know listings of stuff that was coming out,
Yeah.
and one of them was like a World War II documentary thing, and it was like hosted by, or whatever, by like Tom Hanks, and like the picture for it was Tom Hanks looking like concerned, and I don't know why that makes me so mad.
Wait, say that again?
I'm like,
Say that again?
it was like Tom Hanks. He's the guy who's going to be the Morgan Freeman of this
Yeah.
World War II thing, and like it's a picture of Tom Hanks, and it says like Tom Hanks doing like World War II, and it's him looking concerned, and like the thumbnail, and I'm like, I don't know why that makes me so mad that like I'm like, you weren't there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you worried about?
He's concerned, Dave.
Like, I don't like the like posturing. Like, we're gonna talk about World War II.
It wasn't a good
You're a
time.
celebrity.
A lot of people died.
Like, you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at me like you were there. Don't,
I mean, he wasn't in World War II, but he wasn't in World War II, but he was in Saving Private Ryan, which is kind of the closest thing you can get other than the real thing.
Kind of.
He was kind of at D-Day. He was at he was at a Ren fair. That's like a guy at a Ren fair talking about the Middle Ages. Like he was there. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It just like made me angry. Like just, I don't know why that does it to me. Where it's like a celebrity being like, yeah, I'm about to talk about this, and then you gotta look like you were affected by it. And some, I don't know. I'm like,
You gotta show them that you really take this seriously.
this is a heavy subject matter. Like you shouldn't be
Yes.
smiling.
No, should not be
You shouldn't
smiling.
be like, yeah.
No,
Or maybe you should. Getting paid a lot.
I guess yeah. You're acting. You're an actor. You should be acting. I guess.
Yeah, maybe you should put on a smile.
Give them their money. Yeah,
An
you're
appreciative fuck.
You're turning me around. I think this sounds like a good idea now. I think he's doing exactly what he should be.
You should be giving me a smirk or something.
I love the imagine people. Imagine. Dan Carlin does that stuff a lot. Imagine you're on a battlefield. The years blah 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 blah. You've never seen a cannon before. It's
You were born on the back of a horse.
yeah. It's the only life you've ever known.
Full tilt.
There was one
Imagine 1,000 years.
There was one story in that documentary that was legitimately horrifying, but the guy who was talking about it was just like very casual, and I was like, this is like the most horrifying thing I've ever heard in my life. And this guy's just like, yeah, this just happened. Where so many, I think it was at Antietam, it might have been, I think it was at Antietam, so many people died that they didn't know what to do with the bodies, so they started throwing them in the river just to like get them off the field, basically. And a ton of the bodies they threw in the river were still alive, but they didn't realize it. And like people were like standing on bridges and downstream, and bodies were just floating by mumbling, just like saying people's names and stuff, mixed in with a bunch of actually dead bodies. I was like, that sounds like hell. That sounds like actual hell. Like what? Also, where did you get this information from? Was that in a journal? It's great.
A lot of that stuff's from there.
Just in journals.
Yeah, ones that are similar to that from like World War II, pretty gnarly. That are like the post bombings of, you know,
Dresden.
Hiroshima,
Oh,
Nagasaki,
yeah.
and it's like people walking around with their skin falling off.
Oh, that's fucking insane. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
there's a bunch of those.
Oh
Like,
boy.
yeah, this guy was just like ladies are just walking around with like their face peeled off, talking. I'm like shocked right after it happened. I'm just like, holy fuck. It just seems like such a hell vision.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
a fucking nightmare. And you're like, oh, no wonder. No wonder they have the best horror stuff.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, I just love the fucking. They explain a thing that happened, and then there's a pause, and then they say, basically, yeah, and that's what happened. It's the like, Pickett's charge ran up to the fence, and, you know, they were just walking towards the bullets, and they all died to a man. All of them were dead. And then Pickett, he went back, and General Lee said, you got to see to your battalion. And he said, but sir, I have no battalion. And it was true, because they was all dead. It's like, okay. You described it, and then you just said it a second time, slightly differently. It's
I think
good.
That's just old people, though.
I guess so. Old people from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Specifically. Yeah.
It's that Chris Rock thing with comedy.
Mm.
That you gotta repeat the same joke. You gotta just repeat it in a different way.
That's true. Hammer it home.
Otherwise, you know, otherwise you're giving the audience too much credit.
True.
They fall into a joke.
Because they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
That is
You're
true.
gonna hammer it in.
Boy, he does.
You're hitting them with jokes one after the other. You gotta tell them again so they don't miss it.
Do the Chris Rock voice when you say it though, so I can hear him saying it.
No. I'm gonna accidentally do something way too racist because we're talking about the Civil War.
It's true.
Immediately revert to that.
There's some insane, dude. There's some insane readings of people's letters in that documentary. Like, can you sound like a slave when you read this? There's some insane voices in that documentary. They either got Morgan Freeman or a guy doing a really good Morgan Freeman impression to be fucking what's his name? Oh man, it's so funny. Some of the readings are just incredible.
I'm not like a huge Civil War dude.
I'm not either.
Like
I'm
really big into the Civil War.
dipping my toes right now for the first time ever. My knowledge of the Civil War is I saw Gettysburg like once, and that's it. But it is, these documentaries are hilarious.
I very much enjoy World War II though.
Yeah.
World War II, Pacific Theater is the coolest shit. I just hear, I feel like I know so much about the Nazis
Hmm.
and like everything that happened in Europe. It's like everybody has a general knowledge of that, but like when you actually learn about what happened with just the whole Asian side,
Yeah.
you're just like, whoa, nobody talks about this.
Yeah, the Asian,
So
yeah,
crazy.
the Asian front is fucking unhinged.
You're like, what were the Japanese doing?
Yeah. I heard a good theory on why no one talks about it. It's that there's no romance in that theater. Like in the Western theater, there's like these fallen kingdoms and like the end of an era and the start of a new era, and there's like a whole people that were persecuted and like rescued, and this like there's like an arc, like a bittersweet arc to this thing that has like hope and fear and like all these emotions. But then in the Asian front, it's just horror. There's just nothing good. It's all insane.
I think because things have moved so far societally, like away from that stuff, that it's very difficult to relate to. 'Cause, like,
Yes.
you read about what the Japanese did.
It's almost
Like,
inhuman.
Really, it's like really hard to connect to it. You're like, I actually don't get this. Like, I don't get.
Yeah.
Like, I get it strategically in like a very cut and dry, black and white. Like, this does this, so logically this. But like in terms of the humanity, it's very hard. to
Very
connect to,
hard.
like,
Yeah.
the Japanese just committing like multiple genocides. You're like, I don't understand that part of it. Because like even on like the German side,
Yeah.
there's so many things about German troops being like, outside of just being SS officers and whatever, like the more extremes.
Hmm.
Like you do read stuff about like they're just people, Like it's just like.
Well, that book, Ordinary Men, was like a big, that really opened my eyes to a lot of that. I was like, this is like horrifying. Like just watching.
Like, just imagine like growing up over there, and then all of a sudden, like you're just. It's not like you. Like sure, some people like enlist or whatever, but it's not like you had a choice.
No.
So like you're just a part of it because you live there.
Yeah.
Like okay, like that's not your fault. But then there's a different thing in Japan where you almost have like a North Korean type of thing of like not necessarily like brainwashed, but this idea of like hyper allegiance to an emperor
Yeah.
and like dying for this like cause being so extreme, and that stuff is so removed from the culture now. Like
Mhm.
you can see the German side, and be like, oh, I can see it like repeating itself
Right.
in like a real way with like extremists and people being like ideologically like influenced in this very dramatic way, and like hyper nationalism. Like I can see echoes of that.
Yeah.
But like the allegiance to the emperor in Japan and how extreme that was for everybody
Yeah.
is very foreign it's so different than
Yeah.
like anything that like I could think to like relate to.
It's
And
closer,
it's a different world. You're like, I don't get like what this is.
legitimately not a joke. It's closer to Warhammer than it is to real life. Where it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
insane. Like, the Emperor is God, and he's the manifestation of God on Earth, and he will not be questioned, and we are invincible. And it's like, okay, like this is crazy.
There is something to that, like said it, like we are invincible.
Yeah.
Their crazy belief made them like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like, I listened to this podcast the other day, and they were talking about like statistics and stuff, and how people do stuff like track their sleep and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And it was saying that in like it's like a placebo test. They were basically saying that if you show somebody a positive sleep result, they'll have a better day.
Sure.
If you show somebody a negative sleep result, they'll have a worse day.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it was actually positive or if it was actually negative. It's
Right.
all in your head. But it'll physiologically it will change them.
Yeah, it'll manifest.
Yes. So if you do that to a whole population, be like, you're actually invincible and you're serving a god, and
Mhm.
like all this stuff, it's like you can physiologically change that person.
Yeah, you can get people to do things that they would otherwise never do or be able to do
Yeah.
strictly through conditioning. Yeah.
It's pretty extreme. But like the stuff that they did, and like when you're like, oh, Korean people hate Japanese people. Like I've heard like the racist thing of being like, well, they're like the same people,
Hmm.
and you're like, no, they're not.
Nope.
Read World War II.
No, they're not.
Go
Yeah.
go see what they did to the Koreans. You're gonna be like, whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit. And it's not like in the thing. I think one of the other major differences between them is that, I mean, you could make an argument for this being the same thing for America, but they had a real hearing for what happened with the Nazis. Like they were held in front,
Yeah.
like the Nuremberg. It's like there's a thing that happened, and
Right.
like everybody was confronted with this. And sure, there was Operation Paperclip, and sure, like NASA has a bunch of Nazis at the base of it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. They were brilliant scientists and engineers, and whatever.
Yeah.
So we took them all. And you find out later there's actually a bunch of Nazis here. Okay,
Yeah.
that's true. But nothing happened in Japan.
Yeah, really.
Nothing happened in Japan.
Yeah.
None of those guys got in trouble. And the guys that did get in trouble, do you know how fucking quickly they were let go?
Yeah.
So fast. Those guys didn't serve any time. Like, it was up to the Japanese to like enforce that over there.
Well, it's
And
like
none of those guys.
it's because
They
it
served.
it's because at Nuremberg, just following orders was considered not a defense, and over there, just following orders was like, oh, okay, good job. You should have followed orders. Yeah. It's like a weird loyalty allegiance thing where it's like it's just a cultural thing of like, oh yeah, no, yeah, we told you to do a thing and you did it, so whatever, you're off the hook. But at Nuremberg, for the first time ever, they were like, no, actually, you don't follow orders if that's the order.
Yeah, that
But-
shit was crazy. In Japan. So it's like, yeah, there are people that did insane atrocities
Yeah, it is.
in Japan that never got never anything happened.
I'm assuming part of
Like,
why.
there are Hitlers over there. Who were just-
Yeah, I'm also assuming obviously part of the reason nobody really talks about that theater is just that it wasn't white. I feel like people relate more to the European stuff, or people think people relate more to the European stuff just because they're European, and it's like, you know,
Up until still right now.
yeah,
Like you think of like Japan as this place that's not that at all, but like they still don't really like a lot of people there because of how like the education went, like how they didn't really talk about what they did. There's not like a ton of awareness around like just how bad it was,
there's also a lot of denial.
like
Like,
their part.
yeah, there's also a ton of people that just deny it ever happened and say it's a fake history that was made by their enemies.
Yeah, like they weren't that
That's like that guy who did all the music for Dragon Quest. There was like a big boycott when Dragon Quest 11 came out because that guy published a bunch of articles that were like, rape in Nanking never happened. It's all propaganda. And it's like, oh no, oh no.
You also
That's
gotta be like, who, like, the thing is that, like, you gotta be like, yeah, for the rest of the world, like,
It's like the symbol of the Nazis, like the Nazi flag.
yeah,
It's like that's considered just this, worldwide hate symbol,
yes,
and like you're not allowed to wave that around. The Japanese flag didn't go away.
yeah, it's true. It is funny.
It's still around.
It is funny how different those two theaters are treated. It's very strange.
like, it's so weird. Like, anybody who's into that stuff, you just go back and read that and be like, whoa.
Yeah, that's wild.
They were doing what to babies on spikes?
Huh?
What?
What? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Still allowed to fly the flag.
It's still alive. They took the stripes off it though, so
It's true.
no sunbeams on the sun, just a sun.
It's just funny. It's like it's
Yeah,
a
it's-
totally different thing.
It's weird. It's like maybe it's because the Nazis were a party and it wasn't a race. Where it's like Germans had the plausible deniability of being like, yeah, I'm German, but I wasn't part of the Nazi party. This was like an invasive thing that came over and took over our country, and like that's not me. But with the Japan thing, that wasn't a party.
It's like our culture.
That was, we are a uniform entity and the emperor is God and we all serve that. And like, it wasn't like an invasive, it wasn't like the Bolsheviks coming in where you could be like, yeah,
It wasn't
I'm
like we suddenly became this thing.
yeah, where the Russians were like, you know, yeah, no, yeah, I'm a Russian, but I wasn't part of that. Those guys or whatever.
Oh no. Because it's not the first time Germany did it. That's the second time Germany tried to take over
It's
the
true.
world.
Well, World War One is like, that's like it's so hard to even understand how it got to where it was. It's like there's no like clear villain in World War One where you can point to and go, that guy is the bad guy. World War One's like a weird, it's like a contractual nightmare where like the only reason it happened is because everybody had all these treaties with everybody else and all of them got triggered at the same time. Where it's like, okay,
But still,
yeah,
Germany.
yes. I just watched well, yeah, and then weirdly, Germany getting in trouble is kind of what caused World War II because they told Germany that they had to pay all the reparations for the entire war, and it completely fucked the whole next generation. And then those guys got angry, and you know everything became what it became. But yeah,
And then, you know what's crazy about that too is like even after that, like after World War II, they still had to do that. Like even worse. So
Yeah.
like after World War II, one of the crazier things to me that I didn't realize was that they had to pay for stuff that like every single one of the like military depot whatever places that they bombed, like Germany bombed, they had to pay for that.
yeah,
They had to pay for like everything.
yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that like they owed for like all this stuff forever.
Yeah,
How do you ever pay that back?
I mean, you kind of don't,
No.
but
You just gotta go bankrupt.
you just got to start over. Got to
Claim
go.
bankruptcy.
Ah, damn it! You got to run away to.
Company anymore.
You got to run away to Argentina and say, I never lived there. Me?
Yeah, that really cool place where everybody suddenly has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
What's that town?
Huh?
That town's so funny.
What? Us? Hmm.
There's that one town where everybody was drinking.
There's one thing I never realized that there was. I never realized that there was a big Jewish population in Argentina too. And like I was listening to, I think it was David Pakman was talking about it, where like when he was a kid, he was just like, you know, there's a lot of Germans, and he didn't realize at the time till he was older that like all the Jews and a bunch of the Nazis went to the same place, and just like no one talked about it, no one acknowledged like, oh hey, my neighbor is a fucking Nazi. It's so weird. That whole thing is so weird.
The other thing that's really funny that
I think is like less, you know, it's not something that people don't really know anymore. But I always thought it was interesting when people are like, you know, like, whoa, the Nazi Party had that thing at Madison Square Garden, like the rally, and like
Yeah.
it was like a big deal. And it's like the thing that nobody talks about, or less people used to talk about, and I certainly never learned about it, and you didn't either in school,
Yeah.
was that like, yeah, because everybody was like anti-Jew. I mean,
Yeah,
not
pretty
like,
much. Pretty much. Not like,
people
yeah.
were down. People were down with nationalism and stuff. They were like, look at
Well,
this
even
leader.
like, I want to say it was either Churchill or the guy before Churchill. Even England at the time was like, we got to get the Jews out of here. We got to make a place for them to go. Like it's so weird how anti-Semitic every single country was during that war. Even the ones that ended up being the good guys that like helped them out in quotations. It didn't come from a place of we got to save these people. It came from a place of we got to find a place to put these people. It's just
like
it's
the same
so
thing of, like,
fucked.
people are like, can you believe that Walt Disney was
Racist. It's like, I mean, like, you know, anti-Semitic.
Yes.
It's like everybody, like so many people were. Like, it
Yes.
wasn't Walt Disney by himself, just like this weird idea. It's like, like
There
that
was
all over the
an American Nazi party.
yeah,
Fucking the King of England when the war was starting was friends with Hitler. It's like there's like photos of him and his wife going there and like saluting him and stuff. It's and like the fucking
yeah, they had like meetings with him.
yes,
like
the
all the time.
yes, and he said oh god, what was that agreement that got unearthed in like the 70s that they tried MI6 tried to bury where he said if Germany invaded like France and he promised that England wouldn't do anything. Or like if they tried to get a foothold on Britain itself, that king who decided to step down said that he wouldn't like stop them. It's so fucking crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, the whole like revisionist history thing of like, yeah, we weren't all like that though. It's like, yeah,
No.
you weren't gassing Jewish people.
Yeah.
You certainly didn't like them.
Yeah, you certainly. And also, I mean, there's also that people think that they knew about the gassing way before anyone did anything about it, and they were just kind of like, oh, that either that can't be real or let's just not even address it.
Yeah, there was a ton of
Yeah.
people talking about it. Like there was a lot of like informant stuff about it. That's like all over. I feel like it's all over those books like Nick.
Yeah.
If you read that stuff, it's like, yeah. A lot
Yeah,
of people do.
it's pretty wild.
something about it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the England stuff when I want to say it was a couple years ago. I was looking into all that of like basically the last battle of World War I is still being fought essentially, and it was all that stuff about how insanely anti-Semitic England was at the time, and they were like, we got to get these people out of here. Which of course led to Israel and all that stuff, and it's just like it's crazy to me that everybody just wanted them out everywhere. I never knew that. That's not a thing that was ever taught in school.
The other part is like the thing that I think is funny that wasn't really touched on too much.
Yeah.
It's just how we ain't winning any of that shit without Russia.
Right.
It's like Russia's like everything.
The necessary,
Russia.
the necessary
Russia
evil.
crushed Germany.
Yeah, the necessary evil, where we would not have been able to do it without Stalin, but also it's Stalin.
Dude, those stories of like between like World War I and World War II, those Russian stories of the war.
Yeah,
are
they're
so
nuts.
Fucking awesome.
They're insane.
I love those stories. But yeah, Russians were like the shit.
What
Russians and Americans in World War II.
I recently watched, and I recommend that everyone listening to this watch, a movie from the 70s. It's one of those movies with like the Lawrence of Arabia style camera, where it's like the ultra wide, beautiful film grain
I know
cinema.
what you're about to say.
It's Nicholas and Alexandra. Is that what you thought I was gonna say?
That's that super long.
It's like 3.5 hours long, and it's about everything leading up to World War One, the Bolsheviks, all that stuff.
Bolsheviks. That one's it's so pretty.
It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. It's all those movies from like late 60s, early 70s that use that kind of Lawrence of Arabia format, where
Super
they're
wide shots. And stuff.
super wide and there's no special effects at the time. So like if there's 1,000 people on screen, it's literally 1,000 people on screen. The matte paintings have to be flawless, and like a lot of the stuff's on location, and like the entire movie is told from basically two perspectives. It's like Lenin and the Bolsheviks and the normal people, and then it's the actual Tsar and his family. And it's so detailed, and it covers everything. It covers when it's still an empire and things are okay, through things falling apart, to the royal family in a basement getting shot. And the guy who plays Rasputin is so good, and it shows like how fucking crazy that situation was. And all of the advisors and stuff saying like, you have to get rid of this dude, he's hypnotizing your wife, he's like insane. And just how ineffectual Alexander was. Nicholas, sorry, how ineffectual Nicholas was, where he was just like so afraid to say no to his wife that he essentially let the entire country go to shit.
And just like the weirdness surrounding Rasputin, like he was like he had his hands in like so many things.
Yeah.
It was like really weird, like how much control that dude managed to get.
It's also weird how many actual predictions he made.
Mythology.
Yeah. It's weird how many actual predictions he made, to the point where people were wondering if he was secretly, saying something was going to happen and then pulling strings to make the thing happen so it looked like it was, a thing. Down to the day he said, like, I'm going to die tonight. He, like, told a bunch of people, like, I'm going to die tonight. And then, like, that was the night he got shot 3 times, stabbed, drowned, poisoned. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a really good movie. It's excellent.
They had like multiple attempts on
Yeah, tons of attempts.
it. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
They were just like, yeah, this sucks. Let's just do it. Let's just go nuts on it.
yeah. It's and there's a really cool scene towards the end of it that I never really considered, where the revolution has happened, the family's been deposed, they're in hiding, essentially being protected by loyalists, but they're kind of being held as like pawns, like trading cards to negotiate whatever the new government's going to be. And there's a scene where 2 trains have to stop because they're heading towards each other on the same track, and one train is the ex-military people that are kind of holding the Tsar hostage to like negotiate. All right, we're gonna be this new party. We're gonna be the Duma, essentially. And then the other train is the Bolsheviks, and they're like, no, we're the government now. And there's a scene where they're talking to each other. Ian Holm is one of the characters, and they both have orders that are signed by these 2 fractured pieces of government, and they're trying to decide who the real government's going to be. It's like, I have my orders and you have your orders, but it's like, who's Russia now? And it's like, oh man, this is such a fucking nightmare. Like, it's so crazy. It's a really good movie. I really, really liked it.
I think in terms of the
Even if all you did was just watch it for the cinematography and composition,
Yeah,
the shots,
the compositions are
Very
so good. There's
very
a
good color.
there's a scene where everything's kind of desaturated a little bit, and it feels very uniform, even when there's like really bright colors on screen. One of my favorite
The way that,
shots.
like an oil painting feels.
Yeah, and they're talking about like everybody forgets that like Russia went to war with, like, was it Japan or China? Like at the time before World War I broke out, they were like at war and losing a war with, I want to say, Japan.
Yeah, it was like the
The Russo-Japanese War.
Northeast
Yeah,
or something like that. Isn't it like they're northeast? I can't remember. It's like this weird area.
I believe so. And I think I want to say Teddy Roosevelt negotiated that peace in Vermont. I think there's a monument to it where he negotiated the peace to the Russo-Japanese War. But like, it's insane to think about how big Russia was too, and like what an empire it actually was, and like how massive it is. One of my favorite shots in the movie is when Nicholas and his wife are being escorted through the Winter Palace before everything falls apart. And it's this long, like 5-minute shot of them. They walk through the entryway, they walk through the hallways, they go through this mirrored hallway, they go through a ballroom, they go past all the military guys saluting them. Then they get to this big gilded door, and there's two Middle Eastern dudes with like red sashes and turbans and these awesome swords. And it's like, oh, right, they had colonies everywhere. They had like different elite guards from all different parts of the world in this palace. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about how massive that was and how quickly it just evaporated. Because their kid was a hemophiliac. And it fucking drove his wife insane, and that just led to him making so many bad decisions. But loved it. Loved that movie.
I love history in general. Like all that sort of stuff is so interesting to me.
It's like my favorite shit to get into.
Yeah, I've been on a big kick with it recently. I've always been really into Revolutionary War history for some reason, but I'm getting into World War One now.
World War One is such a cool one. Like the introduction of, like, it's that weird. Dan Carlin does a really good job on his World War One
Blueprint to
series.
Armageddon, I think is what it's called.
I really like it because he does a good job of bridging the romanticism of like war prior to that.
Yes.
And then the introduction of like gas and stuff and like biological warfare.
The inhumanity.
And just seeing the contrast of like bright, colorful plumes and these beautiful costumes that all these soldiers wore. It's like very ceremonial and and like this idea that there was some sort of like diplomacy in war and like this thing that, you know, it's the same idea of like what happened in the American Revolution. It's like there's this like cross between guerrilla warfare and like this idea that you have to stand in formation and take turns, and it's like very opposed to each other of like what the future is going to be like for warfare. And World War One has that, where it's like this there's like a pageantry to going to war versus the reality of winning a war. And like once people started thinking like, oh no, this isn't about two civilized places coming together and demonstrating this like military prowess in this theatrical way. This is about winning and doing anything to win, and like having mustard gas and all that stuff.
Yes.
And just being like, oh no.
And it was the first.
Yellow plumes on their head get like melted.
Yeah, dudes on these beautiful mounted horses, and then a plane flies overhead and drops a fucking shrapnel bomb or a gas bomb. And it's like the idea that there was mounted cavalry wearing beautiful uniforms, gilded with these carved swords, and the horses were all dressed up, marching on the same field that planes were dropping bombs, is like insane. It's just an insane thing to picture, that there were ever battles where those two things were being used against each other, because they feel so like centuries apart. But man, it's also like the first industrial war, where like it was the first time war at that scale was able to be fought, because it was the first time that industry had gotten to a point where you could mass produce bombs and stuff. Because like before that, like making a gun, like you had to have an artisan make a gun. Like there wasn't like, you know, factories pumping out thousands of them. But then in World War One there was, and it's just like weapons, bombs, bombs. But I still don't really.
Like crossing that divide of like cultures, there's that same thing happens in Vietnam, and like Vietnam has like a really good, like there's so many crazy like lessons in that one, but like one of the things in Vietnam that I thought was really interesting was there's this idea of like military might and all this stuff going up against. It's kind of like the same idea of like what we do now, where like we go up against these Middle Eastern countries and like wonder how like we lose every time.
Right.
And it's like this idea in Vietnam was like you could just go in there and American might would, you know, topple this thing.
Right.
It's like no, like they've been fighting forever, and they're so adept at like their area, like they know everything about like where they're at, and those traps and stuff that the Vietnamese used, and like
Mm-hmm.
it seems so rudimentary, but like the way they fought, just like ghosts, like you just didn't see them,
Yeah.
and people were just, it was like such a non, it wasn't like a war where you're like, you know, there's the army and we're fighting that guy and this is that. It's like, no, you're like in the woods.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna run into, and people are just dying from dudes you can't see.
Yeah.
And it was just like insane to, like, in the same way that World War One changed how like their interface with the war, the way like Vietnam did it was like fighting on somebody's home turf, like not even knowing.
Vietnam
Like,
is
in front of you.
Vietnam's like a huge blind spot for me. The comparison I always hear about Vietnam is like when the British came to fight America in the Revolution, and they didn't realize that they didn't, you know, the people that were living here knew where to hide and where to set traps, and you know they had these thick woods that, you know, British people weren't used to, and swamps and things that they could do, you know, trick people into. And it's that same kind of thing where then we flipped roles and we went to a place where we were not familiar with the battlefield at all, and just went in with superior arms thinking that was enough. And it's like, nope. Like, no, a couple people hiding in the woods can actually take out your whole platoon if they know where to go.
Yeah,
What to
it's
do.
really, that's a gnarly one. If you ever read those books, like there's so much in Vietnam that's like terrifying. There's some holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that seems like, I think like just being in a place where you can see soldiers and you know you're going into a thing in like World War II or something like that. It's like there's almost something that's like a little more like, okay, like I understand that,
Yeah.
versus like just being in the jungle and like you just step in a trap
Yeah.
and you just
Yeah.
fucked. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah, you're just done.
Like, it seems so much scarier to me, Vietnam, in terms
Yeah.
of psychological. Like you just feel like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like
Yeah.
wandering
Well,
through
because
this
there's no rules. It's a war without any rules. It's just, yeah.
But what's crazy about Vietnam too is it reminds me of the introduction of Americans into World War like One and Two,
Mm-hmm.
where like similar to Vietnam, like Vietnamese have been fighting wars for so long
Yeah.
that by the time the Americans were there, it was like, yeah, this is like a completely, you know, like war-driven group. Like, like they know what they're doing. And then one of the cool things about when America gets involved in World War One and Two, I mean, cool in the sense of like a movie, not like
Yeah.
it's actually cool.
Yeah. Just
But
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool because when the Americans show up, people are like, oh, the Americans are fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Because Americans have been fighting wars forever, and like what happened in America up until World War One was like nonstop.
Yeah.
And so like by the time America got involved in World War Two, it was like, oh, these guys are like a nightmare. Like
Yeah.
like everybody talks about that the Americans were scary, and like when the Americans showed up, it was like, oh no, like these guys are gonna wipe us out.
Right.
Because like they had been fighting for so long.
For so long.
The
Yeah.
same way the like Vietnamese have been fighting for so long. By the time you get to Vietnam, it's like these people are like well worn. You're dealing with something else. Like that's
Yeah.
all they think about.
They've seen shit.
It's like, so now you're here.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff's super interesting because it's like in that, the thing everybody jokes about is like what's going to happen if we have a draft here and go to war with like everybody who's just been playing video games. It's like, yeah, that makes a big difference versus somebody who's been fighting in the Middle East,
Yeah.
multiple wars forever. It's like, yeah, they're a war culture at that point.
Right. Man, the idea of a draft coming back is so many people would not qualify.
I would say qualifications would change.
They would have to. They would absolutely have to, because it's like, yeah, I don't know.
They just have like a dozen battalion.
Yes. the special interest squad.
Yeah. For real though.
I
Like
know.
the amount of like things here now.
I know.
It's like, what could you do?
That's why everything's becoming robots. Nah, man. Our people just suck too much, so we need robots to come in and do that.
Yeah, we all have an IG-88 jerks us off.
Yes. Jerks us off and then shoots someone in the face for us. Eros and Thanatos. The full range of robotics. It's good. It's good stuff. I like it.
Too. I got a meeting in 20 minutes. I'm just looking at the clock.
That's cool. I gotta go soon too.
Where are you going?
I have to go to the gym, and then I have an appointment, and then I am gonna go by my brother's arcade and see what's going on, because they got some new stuff. And when I come back, I'm gonna do a nighttime stream. I'm gonna do my second 4 hours. When I get home later, I'll probably be streaming the same time you're doing your stream. But
How long I slept last night?
guess how long?
Yeah.
2 hours.
The day before. Last night I slept 12 hours.
Whoa! I'm actually happy for you, dude. That's great.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing. When's the last time you did
I
that?
went to bed at 7 p.m. Woke up at 7 o'clock.
When's the last time you did that?
I have no idea.
Before the kids were born?
Too long ago.
Yeah.
Too long ago to remember.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Shocked.
My limited edition Bilbo Baggins and Gollum vinyl figures arrived in the mail today. Based on the Rankin Bass cartoon.
You're not gonna,
Get drafted.
are
Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna make the cut for the draft.
you? That puts you on a list.
That should be one of the questions on the thing. Do you have any Funko
Do you have any
Pops?
collectible figures?
Yeah, if you have a Funko Pop, you can't be drafted.
Or they put you in a special Funko Pop battalion
Yes.
where they just strap a bomb to you and drop you out of a plane.
The Expendables.
Collectibles.
Yes, the collectibles and the Expendables.
They just drop you out of a plane. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a problem. Man, I'm not excited for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
I'm not either. Did you see the fucking plate armor guys and how fucking bad that art direction is? Did I show you that? Did you see it?
I saw it. It just looks like they're wearing cardboard box armor.
Dude, it looks like the Bud Light night. It's like,
Yeah, dude.
what the fuck is that? Like, Christopher Nolan's never had very good art direction. Like, good cinematography, but even like Inception, it's like, it's a movie about dreams, and this is the best you can come up with is a train going through a city. Like, or a street folded upwards. It's like, it's a movie about dreams. Like, where's all the weird shit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks real bad. I'm excited to see the practical stuff. Like the Cyclops might be cool, but I don't know.
Well, I think like in general, the stuff that I was never a major fan of, like I like the directing and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I like a lot of that, but the lean on like a realistic take of stuff was never something I was interested
No, it sucked.
in. And there was like a lot of that. Here's a realistic take on whatever.
Here's a realistic Batman. Here's a realistic joke. How do we make Bane make sense in a real way?
Yeah, that was never an interest I had.
No. want to see Guillermo del Toro's The Odyssey. I want to see somebody with like a vision. I want to see someone come in and do something awesome with it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to know going in that all the magic won't be magic. Like I don't know how he's going to explain Cersei. I'm sure he's going to find a way that isn't magic, but it's like, I don't know. Are his men going to be transformed into pigs still? Are we just not going to do that? Is there going to be a giant dragon in between some rocks that eats his people? It's just weird. I don't know. It's a weird thing to do a realistic take on.
I agree.
Does Odysseus? I'm probably confusing this with a different story. He doesn't go into the underworld, does he? And doesn't he go into the underworld and talk to his dad at one point, or is that somebody else?
I think you're right.
I think he
I'm trying to
does.
think too.
I think he because
I think you're correct.
Because I'm pretty sure there was that big archaeological breakthrough like 10 years ago where they found the island where Odysseus went into the underworld in the story, and it ended up being a volcanic cavern where the fumes killed you. So it was like a death cave, and everybody assumed it went to the underworld. So like, I'm pretty sure he goes to the underworld and talks to his dad in the Odyssey. How are we gonna do that? Like, are we just not gonna do that? Like, I don't know. It's so weird to me to do a realistic take on something so rooted in supernatural. Is Poseidon going to be a character? Like, the whole point of the Odyssey is that he slights Poseidon and gets blown off course, and then he slights Poseidon again by killing his son and gets cursed, essentially. Like, are the gods going to be a thing at all? I don't know.
What they'll do with it. I'm trying to think of how Christopher Nolan would do it. I don't know.
A throwaway line.
He would.
There's going to be a storm, and there's going to be a throwaway line of like, "You've angered Poseidon," but like not show Poseidon and be like, something like that.
Well, I don't actually know. I know like this take on it is based off of like a translation that some lady did
Yeah.
like not that long ago,
Okay.
and I don't know what's in that. I don't know like her take on that stuff or how it was interpreted, because I know that was like what people were talking about. They were
Right.
saying like they didn't like it for whatever this lady did. I don't actually know anything about it, but I'm guessing the how she shows it would probably be how they do it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I might look that up before I mean, I'll probably watch it. I don't think I'm going to go to a theater to watch it, but I'm more curious than anything about how he's going to do that. But
I just don't really care.
yeah,
It's not like exciting to me. Like I think
it feels boring.
I think the thing for me is there's like I feel like there's a time and a place for minimalist shit,
Mm-hmm.
and like minimalist stuff, like I don't mind too much. I don't really like.
But it's weird. It's weird to do a minimalist epic because those should be
That's what I'm saying. I think
oxymorons.
because that's what I was going to say. Was I think that just the idea of doing a take on something that's like meant to be like a larger than life epic journey into the unknown, and you come across all these things. It's like to downplay it feels like that's
Yeah,
not the point
we're
of it.
missing the
It's
point.
like, why would you? Yeah, it's like you don't downplay like a grand thing like
It's-
that.
it-
It feels like weird.
It's like
Why would you do that?
playing an opera on the piano or something, where it's like you're missing the point. Like, I don't know. It's strange. It's very strange. It's literally called an epic. It's like it's the
like
odd.
playing Master of Puppets on the acoustic guitar. It's
Yeah,
fun, but
yeah.
maybe not for like the concert.
That is the song, sure, but like, no one's enjoying it that way. You're kind of missing
Like,
the
I
whole
wanna
point of
see
it.
It's like you can do that on MTV Unplugged. would be interested in that.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it in front of at the Super Bowl, probably want to do like the song.
Yeah. I mean, at least I don't know. At least he's doing the Odyssey, and he's not doing like Jason and the Argonauts. I'd be more upset if he was doing it with something like that, where it's so overtly like. I don't want to see Christopher Nolan's take on Talos, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a two minds about it. Where like, I like Christopher Nolan. I don't want to see like what was that shitty one, the Titans movie that came out.
Oh, Clash of the Titans, yeah, and Revenge of the
Yes, like I
all the
don't
spin-offs.
want that.
No.
Like I don't want something where they go like over the top in a bad.
Yes,
way.
exactly.
That's not what I want. I don't want that. I just want something where it's like if you ever like I don't want anybody to go back and look at this. Like I wouldn't want a director to go back and look at Gulliver's Travels, the TV series. But I do want them to remember the level of fantasy it had,
Yes.
where it was like kind of fantastical.
Yeah.
It didn't shy away from it like trying big things, but the stuff between the fantasy was like somewhat grounded, so that the fantasy stuff felt bigger when it happened.
Sure.
I think something like that is what I would like, or you go like the other version of full weird for me would be doing like the way they would handle, you know, like the old Jim Henson movies where it's like
Yeah.
Labyrinth kind of vibe where it's a little unreal. It's real, but it's
Heightened.
clearly weird.
Yeah, heightened
like
reality.
There's aspects of it that aren't real. Like putting claymation in a movie makes it like, oh, this is like stylistically fantasy in a weird way.
Right.
Where like we're getting away from it being like super representative of a real thing and more like this, you know, legend feel where we're not watching a literal retelling. We're watching like this strange interpretation. It's like that to me is a bit more interesting. Like
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro's, you know, The Odyssey, I'd rather see.
I think if they could hit the balance that like Excalibur hits, where it's like this is a real thing and the people feel believable, but also it's very clearly a myth, and also it's very overtly magical, very stylistic, but it's not like complete fantasy. Something like that, but I don't know. Dry reality is such a weird angle to take for something so defined by like it's literally, like I said earlier, it's literally an epic. Like it's the epic. It's the Odyssey. It's like we're gonna pare that down. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I think where I kind of come into it, and I think you could do a version of like what he's doing and pare it down. I don't know, because it's like I wouldn't want Nolan to only do like realistic like crime drama stuff.
Sure.
But to me, I think of like a Christopher Nolan vibe as like the movie like Seven or something like that.
Sure. I mean, I liked
Where it's, like,
I like
kind of
Interstellar.
fantasy.
Interstellar had the right amount of like, this is explainable and it's realistic, and we're going to use science, but we're going to use weird experimental science that feels kind of magical. It's not like time travel. It's like time folding and like showing a tesseract and like explaining how that works is kind of, you know, it's rooted in something believable, which is very Christopher Nolan, but it's also kind of fantastical. And that whole idea they play with where like maybe love is like a quantifiable thing in the universe. It's like gravity or something. Like it touches on these kind of weird esoteric ideas that I think are cool, but it doesn't go, you know, fully magical. I think that's kind of the farthest he goes, or the farthest he's capable of going. Other than like, you know, Scarecrow using gas and thinking, you know, Batman thinking there's bats crawling out of his mouth or something. Or it's like,
Yeah.
ah.
I do think though, if he leaned into that weird stuff, like that's like a fantasy thing for him, like having like that Batman.
Yeah.
"You're scared yet?"
Yeah, if Odysseus goes into a cave and breathes some volcanic fumes and has a crazy trip and sees a bunch of crazy stuff, sure. You found a reason to do it, and you found a reason to make it believable. The problem with the Odyssey is that so many of the characters, it's not that magical things happen, it's that they are magical. Cersei is a witch. It's like she does turn people into pigs. There isn't really a way to do that metaphorically or to get around it that's going to be satisfying.
But the giants not really being like giants, they're just like little dudes.
Is the Odyssey, oh god, is it Jason and the Argonauts, or is it the Odyssey where they meet the guy who's trapped on the island with the harpies who blinded him and they come down and tear at him every day?
That's the Odyssey.
That's the Odyssey. Are there going to be harpies in
I
this
think so.
movie? I think it is, right?
Are they putting everything from the Odyssey in this movie?
That-
That's impossible.
I think it is impossible. Like, obviously, like, Tom Holland's in it. Telemachus is a character. So we're going to start at Troy, and by the end of the movie, Telemachus will be 18 years old and Odysseus will come home. So, like, we're doing the 20-year time span. I don't know how much they're going to cut out of that. I think it's going to be like a 3-hour movie. But even in 3 hours, you got to do what? You got to do the clash with Poseidon. You got to do the whole island of Cyclops and hiding in the sheep and stabbing him. You got to do Cersei. You got to do Charybdis. You got to do Scylla. You got to do the island with the harpies. You got to do descending into the underworld. You got to do the sea witch.
Cyclops thing is the grossest one to me.
Yeah.
I always hated that when I was a kid. Like everything surrounding the Cyclops and like them, like made me so uncomfortable when I was little.
Yeah.
I really hated that. Like him like eating people and stuff.
Yeah, just eating people whole and then them. Yeah, it's great.
That fucked me up.
It's a visceral feeling. But yeah, I don't know.
I wish you could talk more. I want to see. I mean, I want to like after reading the Asgardian tales to the kids, like
Mhm.
not the tales. I mean, just reading the actual mythology.
Yeah.
To the kids, I've just like gone back through it. There's so much good stuff in this. Like, I would love for that God of War game to stay here, just for like a little bit, like do a little bit
Yeah.
more of this.
It
There's some,
feels.
like really cool stuff.
I mean, I don't understand why they're doing a game about Laufey going into the afterlife of all gods so they can like throw in every culture instead of like pacing it out. I don't know why they went that route instead of just making an Atreus game where you can live in that Viking thing and explore more of the Loki stuff and like there's so much untapped stuff and they have so much.
I think because he's Loki, like I felt like they were saying that they're sticking around here for a while.
Me too. And I'm sure that's the
Like,
plan.
He's clearly part of the mythology.
I mean, I think pretty clearly, without having played it, at the end of the Laufey game, she's going to come back to the land of the living, and there's going to be another game that has her and Atreus and Kratos in it. Like, I'm pretty positive that's what this is going to be. It's not going to be just a standalone spin-off. It's going to be, we're continuing this thing that we're investing. Otherwise, why do it? Otherwise, why bring in the weird cliffhanger stuff from God of War Ragnarok with the mask that can see all creation? Like, they're putting that there because clearly she's gonna come back somehow, and we're gonna get adult Atreus, and like that might be cool. But like this weird afterlife of the gods thing, where like definitely characters from the old cringe God of War games are gonna show up. Like, I'm Zeus and I'm dead. I'm here in the afterlife of the gods. You fucked my son, Kratos. Like, it's gonna be so embarrassing. But I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it this way. It's super weird. Also, like, I don't know. Like, why not do the Viking afterlife? She's a giant. Why not do that? Why not anything other than this? It's just an excuse to put every possible culture into the game so they don't have to keep making God of War spin-offs.
I think the thing that I'm more wary of is I always feel like as soon as anybody who does like any writing stuff who started in like one culture or whatever for like a narrative,
Yeah.
as soon as they do like God universe and it doesn't have a basis in anything,
Right.
I think that's when I go like, because like I think like with doing Norse mythology, like you have such a strong base. It's like there's so much stuff to pull from that you can do that plus
Yeah.
your ideas, and it works
Yeah.
because there's already like a super strong foundation that like
Yeah.
You still stick to like the general feeling of all the characters that are established. But then
Yeah.
as soon as you go like, and now we're in my own creation, then it's like, okay, like let's see how well you are,
Yeah,
equipped for this.
let's see how
is
this
a
holds
difficult
up.
thing you're trying to do. Like this thing that you're doing is going to be pretty hard to be like, this is still going to be good, even though I'm making it all up now.
Right.
Like that's a lot harder to do than being like, this thing already exists.
Well, also, like, Norse mythology and Greek mythology are the two big ones that have, like, characters and, like, archetypes that are, like, still universally understandable, like the trickster, or, like, the benevolent god versus the evil god, or, like, all those archetypes and things that people know without even playing it are rooted in those two religions more than, like, there aren't really characters in ancient Egyptian mythology. There's, like, people with duties. Like, I'm the guy that shepherds the dead, but, like, he doesn't have a personality. He's not like, ooh, that wily trickster. It's none of that. It's more like, here's the thing I do. I'm defined by the thing I do.
Oh wait, are you gonna be here in 20 minutes?
No, I will
You gone?
not. I'm gone.
Okay, well I gotta go to my meeting.
Well, this was fun. Goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna get off of here now too. But
Later, everybody.
bye, everyone. This was fun. See you.